Welcome to another episode of the 5 Minute Money Manager. In a previous episode, I mentioned the phrase moderation in all things and how it couldn't be applied to addicts and their addictions. I have given considerable thought to whether or not it is appropriate advice for anyone to follow. Most of the time, when I hear people say moderation in all things, they are trying to justify certain behaviors that they or those around them might think are questionable. What would the world be like if everyone practiced moderation in all things? Would it be better or worse than it is today? I think it would be a lot worse. A few examples follow. The implication of being moderate in all things is that one can and should do anything they want as long as they are not excessive about it. That thought process might be appropriate for eating ice cream or other desserts, but what about consuming poison? What is the moderate amount of poison? And what about behaviors which society has determined are wrong? How much theft, murder, fraud, illegal drug use, bribery, embezzlement, corporate crime, discrimination, or child and elder abuse would be a moderate amount? Oh, but Dr. Anderson, aren't you picking the extremes? Most people aren't criminals like that. Okay, what about obeying traffic laws? What is the moderate amount of speeding, running stop signs and red lights, hit and runs, driving under the influence, or driving without a license or insurance coverage? What about paying taxes? What is the moderate amount of inaccurately reporting income and deductions? And then there is the workplace. What is the moderate amount of claiming sick days when you aren't really sick? Or claiming a full day's work when you came in late, took a longer than allowable lunch break, left early, or conducted personal business during work hours? And what is the moderate amount of using company office supplies and other resources for personal use? Do we want a society where a moderate amount of breaking laws is acceptable? Fortunately, our world is not a lot worse because most people do not practice moderation in all things. The bottom line is that there are some things in our personal, professional, and public lives that we just shouldn't do. There's no moderation to even consider. Consequently, instead of moderation in all things, a better model for living would be abstinence in some things, moderation in some things, wisdom in all things. Deciding now what our values are and the things we just won't do will make management of our everyday living less complicated and will result in more happiness along the way. Thanks for listening and have a great day.